Hello fellow scooter enthusiast. I'm Captain Danny. I'm captain of the world famous Cindy May. She's a sailing vessel. I'm also a mechanic for this scooter here I've got. Maybe you've got a 50cc scooter, 49cc scooter, and you want it to go faster. I go over some of these things that will work. First thing you want to do is get an unlimited revving CDI box. Add that to it. Maybe a new carburetor that you can adjust with new jets. And take off the air box and put a pod air cleaner on there. That's one of the things that you can do. And other than that, I'm going to bust the myth on heavier rollers being going faster. Let's get to it, right? I'm going to put to rest all the myths about rollers and faster and slower. But first I want to show you how to use a clutch removal tool. This is you put it on your clutch so that you can take off the nut without an impact wrench. I'm going to show you how to use it to take off your variator. First thing you do is you drill 2 holes in it that are just enough to fit these little indentations that come out here, these little boogers, and you want it to fit right in there. The important part is you want it to come out where it's not going to hit the belt up higher than that, and leaving enough that it doesn't break the gear. That's your starter gear right there, also part of your variator, which normally when you get a new variator does not come included, so you don't want to break it. Alright, here we go. First thing you want to do is you want to stick that spanning tool into the holes that you just drilled, and you want to very lightly pound them in there. I made this thing pretty tight. Alright, so okay, you can see the way I have it rigged up there. I've got the clutch removal tool, got it in the holes there, got it braced there on the ground using the Kickstarter. Use whatever you can so that it doesn't slide, and it's got a good solid piece on there. You're going to need a ratchet and a number 17 probably, and you just put it on there, and whoops, I said whoops. Had to put a little more pressure on there than I thought. It took 2 hands, but you just want to unscrew that little devil right there, and you pop it off, and you've got your variator to remove the weights. Okay, so you want to pull off the gear plate there, the Kickstarter piece. And you're left with that. You just want to kind of drop that down out the way. The belt, just move it out of the way. And you want to hold it from the back so it doesn't fall apart on you. Pull that sucker right out of there. And you want to turn it upside down. And voila, there's your weights there. Now these are the original ones that came with it. I want to tell you from the get-go, yesterday I put 8-gram weights in there, and it immediately lost 5 miles an hour. So I put the old ones back in there, and it's back to 43 miles per hour. Now that weight, I'm sure, depends on how much you weigh and how much of a headwind you're heading into, because these engines, they're just not built to go that fast. But they can if you modify them correctly. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add some 6.5-gram weights. Once again, I have no idea what size these original weights are, and I don't have any way to weigh them. But again, I put in yesterday 8-gram weights and lost 5 miles per hour. So I'm going to go with some 6.5 grams. and see if it makes any difference. Okay, when it's time to reassemble the thing, you got your new gear or your new weights in there and you put it all back. It's going to be kind of hard to get the drive belt to fit over the front variator. What you got to do is you got to squeeze this in. What I usually do is I try to find a wrench and stick it in there and make sure you drop this in first and get it down in as far as you can, and that'll give you more travel room. Otherwise it won't fit up over the variator bolt. Then you just want to reassemble it, put it back together, and check your speed. That's what we're going to do now. Okay, again I'm going to use the clutch removal tool where I modified the gears there. Pounded those pieces lightly in there, nice and tight. You want to make sure that it's braced there on the bottom with something. If it's, the ground's not real level like it is here, you'll find something that'll stop this thing from moving. And then you just want to tighten that variator nut pretty much as tight as you can get it, hand tight, without stripping anything out. I don't have a foot wrench or anything like that. Test it, but I'm going to put some more torque on that. I'm going to put it back together, and we're going to take it for a test run. Okay, so I put on the heavier rollers. I put on 8 grams. I put on 6.5 grams. I don't know what the original weights of the rollers that come stock with your scooter, but they're probably the best for it. I lost 5 miles an hour immediately on the top end. Way slower takeoff speed with the heavier rollers. I'm going back now to the original ones that I put in there, where I can hit 40, 41 miles an hour and get to it quickly. In other words, in my opinion, unless you install a big bore kit, you are not going to get any extra speed out of that scooter other than the things that I've listed that do work, like the CDI box, new carburetor, and possibly another type of air cleaner. The pod cleaners allow a little more flow in there. If you've got a bigger carburetor, you might get another mile or two out of it. Other than that, it's all in your final drive gear. You're not going to get any faster without a big bore kit. I hope this helps you, and I hope you have some happy scooting times.